Gerald Hampton, Montford Point Marine Association, Chapter 44, and the North County San Diego NAACP. Welcome.
Well, thank you, CJ. It's truly a pleasure to be here today.
I am so excited to hear you share with us today about the Montford Point Marines.
Yes.
Can you do that? Tell us about the legacy, the history.
Okay, I'm glad to do that.
It's a lot. But
yes, it is. The Montford Point Marines, a lot of times when I talk to people, I kind of have a little fun and I'll ask, hey, have you ever heard of the Montford Point Marines?
Right.
And I find that in many cases the answer is no. Then I'll follow it up and ask, well, have you ever heard of the Tuskegee Airmen? And a lot of people say, oh yeah, well, we've heard of them. And that's because there was this small blockbuster movie called Red Tails that gave the Tuskegee Airmen some notoriety.
Right.
Well, the Montford Point Marines are essentially equivalent to the Tuskegee Airmen in that they were the first African Americans to join the Marine Corps. And the history, real briefly on that, was in 1941, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, had signed an executive order, 8802, that basically ended discrimination in the government forces and also the military. About a year later, in 1942, the first African-American Marine enlisted in the Marine Corps, Alfred Masters. And unfortunately, the Commandant of the Marine Corps at the time, Major General Thomas Holcomb, had voiced that he did not desire for African Americans to be part of his Marine Corps. Unfortunately, he did not have a choice, and so what happened was they had a place called Montford Point, which is part of the Camp Lejeune base in North Carolina that they established for the Montford Point Marines. And so that was the base. It was a despicable place. And the Marines literally, the African-American Marines literally had to build the base. And so from 1942 literally to 1949, African-American Marines were trained at Montford Point exclusively. During that time, some 20,000 were trained at Montford Point. And so, fast forward, they served honorably. Many of them, even though their training was not necessarily directly in combat. Of course, during that time, you had World War II going on. And so a lot of them served distinctly in World War II. And so that's kind of the history. And you asked about the legacy. Well, the legacy is the fact that they were groundbreakers. You know, I served in the Marine Corps myself personally for 22 years. And as I say, I stand on the shoulders of giants. If not for them, I would not have had an opportunity. And they were finally recognized because in 2011, the then Commandant General John Amos had partnered with Congress, and they were able to award the Montford Point Marines, the originals, the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest civilian honor that Congress can bestow upon individuals. And so in 2012, they had a major ceremony back at Headquarters Marine Corps, and that medal was awarded. And those that could travel were able to go back there and receive that award.
And Chapter 44, tell us about Chapter 44.
And so Chapter 44, we're a chapter in the Montford Point Marine Association. The association was created in 1965 for the purpose of maintaining the legacy, sharing the legacy, just as I'm doing now, of the Montford Point Marines, the original Montford Point Marines, and also identifying and help locate those that did not get the Congressional Medal. It's almost been 10 years since they were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, and roughly only half of that 20,000 has actually received it. So that's part of what we do, in addition to trying to, enhance our community through mentorship and scholarship programs.
Wow. And you're also a part of the San Diego County NAACP, which is also doing amazing work.
Yes, I am. I'm also a member of the North San Diego County NACP, and their purpose is twofold as well, to promote and enhance the community. So a great organization. Between the two, they keep me quite busy.
It's sounds like it. It sounds like it. Wow, we could have a whole show just
Absolutely.
about your organizations. But if people want to learn more, I know it's been
Yes.
brief, but if they want to learn more, find out more about the history, hear more of the stories, and the importance of your organizations, where do they go?
Okay. For the National Montford Point Marine Organization, they can Google it, but they do have a website, nmpma.org.
Okay.
And then locally, our chapter, we have a website. It's mpma44os.org.
Amazing.
And of course, with the North San Diego County NACP, theirs is simply nsdcnacp.org.
And that's all running at the bottom too. So if people didn't catch it, you take a look and they'll be able to find more information.
Two great organizations. We'd love for people to
Absolutely.
check us out.
Gerald, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.